or not? Monica McNutt. Celtics will flip that switch and win the East, believe it or not.
So, I believe the first part of this one. I don't believe necessarily the latter part. I'm not sure that they're tripping over chasing down that number 1 seed, but I do think that there's an uptick coming as they prepare for the postseason. I mean, this is the experience of this group. They have looked a little less than focused at points this season, but I do think that Joe Mazzulla is going to have this group gearing up.
Okay, Alan, are the Celtics the best team in the Eastern Conference right now?
Absolutely they are, and it's because they have all their weapons. They have a good bench. They have the experience now of winning a championship, which for them was the important piece, that they can get over the hump, that they can prove they can do it, which was the only thing that was chasing this group around. They're batting the bunny right now during the regular season. It's what we see sometimes from defending champs. But when it comes down to it, if they get the 2 seed, do they care in the conference finals if they play the Cavs that they have to be on the road for a game? Absolutely not.
Okay,
Batting
Alan.
the bunny?
I know. How about that? I hadn't heard that one. Alan, what about the Sixers? Do they need a franchise reset? Believe it or not.
I mean, seriously, like in Philadelphia, they've got to hope that meteor hits sooner rather than later. With all that they have invested in Embiid and in Paul George, they got to blow this thing up. They can't, though. They got over $300 million over the next 3 years, not in this year, over the next 3 years, invested in 2 players that they can't keep on the court. And one of them in Joel Embiid that has decided that he's going to do what he wants to do, which includes playing in how they let him play in the Olympics makes no sense whatsoever. That he shows up out of shape and he can't play during the regular season because he wanted to play in the Olympics. They've got problems there that they can't solve. What?
Go ahead.
Oh, where's the lie?
No.
Where's the lie?
There is no lie. Honest to God, I have a headache this morning over some other things, but this is just taking it to another level.
Yeah.
But there's no lie. The Paul George deal is what, $162 million, and he'll be 35.
It's not great.
35 through 37.
Yes. A player option at 37, which you know he's going to take the option.
Our friend Jeff Saturday, if I could just channel him, believe it. Okay. What are the options though, right? Like, yeah, everybody's like detonate, destruct.
It's Maxi's team, but it can't be Maxi's team with Joel Embiid there. And, again, with him around, you always have the specter of, hey, if he can just stay healthy. But, of course, we all know that you can never finish that sentence because he's never there.
Especially when you talk about playoff time. Finally, Monica, how about the Cavs?
Extra dig, VC.
Are they legit title contenders, believe it or not?
Yes, people. Pay attention to the Cleveland Cavaliers as a team. Shout out to Himbo for this stat. As a team, they are flirting with 50-40 on their splits. 49.3 from the field, 39.3 from the three-point line. They are a well-oiled machine. They both defend with those Twin Towers. Jarrett Allen, you can make the case that he also should have been an all-star with the other 3 teammates that made it there. They defend and they score at a high level. Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, Jarrett Allen, Evan Mobley, pick whoever you want in terms of having an all-star breakout sort of caliber season, but Kenny Atkinson is stirring the drink just so. They are a legitimate threat.
Well, because you guys are so familiar with the Knicks, I want you guys to take a look at something. Cindy, if you can bring up B33.
Cindy, Cindy gets
no. Cindy, no B33.
Yes.
We don't need to. It's too early for this.
You talk about Eastern Conference contenders, but they got to start proving themselves against the best team. They are 0-5 against the top 3 teams in the NBA. I'm talking Celtics, Thunder, and Cavs. They're going to get tested right away after the break because they play Cleveland on Friday. They got Boston on Sunday. So I guess the question here is, Monica, what must the Knicks prove to everyone to be considered contenders?
Man, so the offense is high-powered, right? Second-ranked offense in the league. Karl Anthony Towns, and I am not one who usually is putting pressure on years when a team, the first year when a team adds a superstar. But this offense has just been fantastic. Defensively, they've got to grow. Now, part of that starts with them getting healthy. Mitchell, OG Anunoby obviously had an injury prior to the All-Star break, so he's got to get healthy as well. But the numbers in terms of when you talk about champions in the NBA, there's only been like 3 times where a team outside of the top 10 in terms of defensive efficiency eventually go on to become the champion. So the defense has some room to grow, but I do think step one, Han, is them getting healthy in terms of that.
I can jump off that because, you're putting a lot of anticipation on one player, Mitchell Robinson, who's had a hard time staying healthy. But when he is healthy, he could be a difference maker. To say, though, that their championship aspirations rest with him, it's saying a lot. Now, this is a high-efficiency offense like you mentioned. They have a defensive-minded coach. You would think they could figure it out if they do get healthy. But here's your problem matchup-wise, as we talked about. They have struggle against these teams. The Knicks are 30th in the league in defending the three. The Celtics, that's what they do. So there's one problem. The Cavaliers run pick and roll more than any other team in the league. No one runs pick and roll. Like the Knicks are the one team that faces pick and roll more than any other team in the league, and they're not very good at it. That's the Cavaliers. That's what they do best. So their weaknesses against the top two teams in the East strengths is a bad matchup for them.
Yeah.
And the only way to fix it is personnel-wise. Can Mitchell Robinson make that much of a difference? I feel like that's a lot to put on a guy that is just trying to get back on the court. And that's the problem. Anunoby and his defense, Bridges, the two wings, they call them Wingstop here in New York, they have been really good at both ends of the floor. But that guy right there you're watching, and Mitchell Robinson, who can defend at three and help Karl-Anthony Towns out, that's important because for Karl-Anthony Towns, he was on a number one defense in Minnesota with Rudy Gobert as his center. Can they replicate that in New York? That's asking a lot.
Give you a final word, Monica, when you talk about that.
Han covered it.
No, because it sounds like he's talking about Cat being the alpha. You think Cat needs to be the alpha?
No, I don't, and I get it. Shout out to our terrific producers who work very hard in the show, but like I hate the alpha conversation. Like that's stupid to me. You got a point guard who runs the team, and Karl-Anthony Towns, when he joined the team, said that this is Jalen Brunson's team. Now, does that mean he can have a 40-20 night? Sure, like whatever. But I don't think we need to get into the minutia of who's alpha. I think this team understands its hierarchy very well.
Don't be a Sigma.
And let's just see.
Don't be.
and play some defense. Play some defense. They'll be right there. All right, coming here as we head into the second half of the NBA season. Alan, who is the team to beat in your opinion?
The defending champs, the Boston Celtics. Until you beat the man, you can't be the man. And they are that team. And maybe they're playing with their food a little bit this season. But we know when it comes time for winning, they have proven they can do it.
Monica, what team should everyone be worried about in your opinion?
Worry is an interesting word. I think everybody knows this, though. The Oklahoma City Thunder. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is a bona fide MVP candidate. This team is top 10 offensive and defensive rating. They are the real deal. Obviously, Jalen Williams is running mate. He was also just an all-star. These role players are excelling. They're getting healthy. Chet Holmgren's back on the field, and Isaiah Hartenstein has changed their interior defense significantly.
Okay, so Alan, after the mega trade, it are the Lakers, Luka's team right now.
LeBron James still alive. He's still playing basketball. He'll probably be playing basketball long when we're all gone. It is not Luka's team because it is not his team yet because LeBron James is still there. This is his team. Now, Luka can certainly fit in or fit out or whatever it is that LeBron told him to do. But the bottom line is when LeBron is on the team, it's his team. They have to figure out how to make it work together, and that's going to be a fascinating story to watch.
You know, I thought it was interesting that, believe it or not, Monica McNutt, Celtics will flip that switch and win the East, believe it or not.
So, I believe the first part of this one. I don't believe necessarily the latter part. I'm not sure that they're tripping over chasing down that number one seed, but I do think that there's an uptick coming as they prepare for the postseason. I mean, this is the experience of this group. They have looked a little less than focused at points this season, but I do think that Joe Mazzulla is going to have this group gearing up.
Okay, Alan, are the Celtics the best team in the Eastern Conference right now?
Absolutely they are, and it's because they have all their weapons. They have a good bench. They have the experience now of winning a championship, which for them was the important piece, that they can get over the hump, that they could prove they could do it, which was the only thing that was chasing this group around. They're batting the bunny right now during the regular season. It's what we see sometimes from defending champs, but when it comes down to it, if they get the 2 seed,